Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Crane Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, we're just going to do another velocity banking review. We'll call it morning coffee and cash flow because it is the morning right now. And some of you might be drinking your coffee. And hey, after or while you're drinking your coffee, why not make it a habit to do a velocity banking spreadsheet? And I don't know if you knew this or not, but coffee has some other uses that most people think is insane. I don't know if you ever heard of this before. Coffee, not through that doesn't go through your mouth, but goes through the other part of your body. And not a medical doctor, not giving any medical advice. Okay, I'm just kind of reading information. But have you ever heard those advertisements where it's like your body has 5 to 10 pounds of fecal matter? Might be true, may not. I've never had a machine, but coffee doesn't only go into the mouth, right? So some of you may be having your other type of coffee if you're into that. All right, well, let's get into it. So, what is velocity banking? All it is a debt payoff strategy where you use your line of credit as your main operating account. And in order to do velocity banking, we only need to do two things. Number one is a budget, which we have here. And I'm going to show you how I create these budgets. So there's only certain types of debts that you can have. I mean, it's limited, right? A credit card, an auto loan, a student loan. I mean, it's really two things: a line of credit and a loan, right? And a credit card is a type of line of credit. So all I do is I just kind of put some credit cards here, put an auto loan to or two here, student loan here, mortgage here, and I can easily calculate the payments. So let's say like you want to do your situation and you want to do instead of 16,000 for at 27%, you do like 15,000, and then here you could do like 27,000 at 26%. And then if you know how to run the mathematical formulas, right? So we'll just do this right here. So 27,000 at 26%. And then right here is 15,000 at 27%. So 15,000. Then I can get an easy monthly payment here. If you don't know, like kind of the standard formula that a lot of banks use and a lot of websites use, it's like 1% of the balance plus the interest, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste this. Whoopsie, not this one right here. Copy and paste this, right? And then if you want to do some loans, that's a little bit more difficult, but luckily I have this loan calculator right here. So I could just say, hey, instead of a $210,000 mortgage, I could do a $200,000 mortgage at, I don't know, 5%, right? So you can always just play around with the numbers and then get a new payment um, in to your budget, right? So maybe instead of 35,000, I do 40,000 at 4%. Okay. Let's do 40,000 at 4%. I don't know if they have student loans at 4%, but I think they're 10 years. And then maybe a car. So instead of 25, we'll just do like a used car, 12K at, I think the used car interest rate is like 12%, right? So we'll do 12,000 at 12% and then make sure the term is right. And so now we have payments for loans. See how kind of easy that is if you've been doing it as long as I have, right? And so let me go ahead and do this here. And then I just like to use a reasonable number per month for food, gas, insurance. It's not going to always be the same, but just use what you think would be average. So maybe like 1,800 or 2,000, right? And obviously, if the more you make, the more wiggle room you have, but there's always the cash flow component. So you always want your income to be more than your expenses. So what I do is I just sum up my expenses right here, right? So sum B8 to B13, B8 to B13. And so $4,888 is my expenses. Okay. So, and I just randomly arbitrary pick a number that's kind of bigger. So I'll say, okay, well, maybe 5,200. And then what's my savings over with, or not, as the average American, right? So it is income minus expenses and $311.94. cents. So this is what we're going to do. Now we're going to do the velocity banking side, right? So we assume that we have the same budget. Whoopsie, where'd I go? The same budget. And then our savings is going to be 0. And then now it's income minus expenses, right? Is going to be our cash flow. Now we have to take the second step with velocity banking is just get a line of credit, right? But we're not going to get a line of credit at this stage because if we understand how credit works, we know banks only lend to people who don't need money, right? So that's why this is kind of like if you're going to have a line of credit, it's probably going to be maxed out, right? Because you probably got it at a time when you didn't need it. And then you kind of did what the banks wanted you to do is just kind of max it out and just not really overpay it, right? And that's true of any type of debt that you have. A bank does not want you to overpay anything. Okay. And so all we're doing with this is using help with the help of a line of credit, kind of like as a bridge for ultimate flexibility and to help us easily pay off our debts and increase our cash flow. All right. So let's go ahead and do this. So this is going to be 2715. So cheat code. High interest rate credit cards and short-term loans are the first ones you usually move to a line of credit. So let's move these two credit cards into a line of credit. That's going to be 42,000. So let's assume we have access to a $50,000 line of credit. So 42,000. Okay. And so when we move those numbers into a line of credit, well, guess what happens to these payments? These payments go to 0, right? So we literally went from $311 to $1,654 in a swoop. But here's the catch, right? And there's always a catch. No one is going to get you a free and clear line of credit when you're struggling, because banks don't like to see that. They don't like to deal with what they call risky borrowers. Okay, and I say this as a person who has over $575,000 in lines of credit. And how did I get so much credit? I got it when I didn't need it. Okay. So let's go ahead and do this. And I'm going to do this right here. And every time we do this, we're considering ourselves the greatest of all time. So that's why we got the GOAT, the greatest of all time. And to get the next month's balance, the next month's interest, it's going to be, all right here. Whoopsie, screwed up. So G2 plus H2 minus 1654.44, right? And then what we do is we take the average daily balance, multiply it by the interest rate times 0.08, and then we divide by 12. And so just to use this line of credit for this month, yeah, it costs us $200 and we have to pay it until it's completely paid off, right? But so the last step, okay, I'm going to show you is this. You put your entire paycheck, $5,200, into the line of credit, take your expenses out, and then rinse and repeat over and over again. Okay, that's all you do. And we got to add a GOAT for every time we do this process because we are the greatest of all time. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. And I'm going to do this. And so now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select it at 28 months, right? 28 months. We have paid off 50K of debt. Not bad. Not bad. All right, so now what we do is after 28 months, we figure out what the cost of our auto loan is. So let me just go back here. So it's 28. Actually, this is what we could have done. Because this auto loan is at a very high interest rate, we could just move this one into the line of credit as well. Geez, I'm an idiot. Let me just do this. My bad. I'll redo it again, but I promise it'll be quick. 12%. I'm sorry, 12. So this is a used auto loan. So how much is it? 12 at 12. All right. So used auto loan. And instead of doing the 50, we'll do the 62. Actually, it's not even 50. My bad. I'm going crazy. All right. So, it's 42. See, I can't even read my. Okay. So, my bad. 50 plus 12. So it's 62,000. So we'll say 65,000, 62,000. Okay. And then now let me do it one more time. Our cash flow is actually almost $2,000. So let's go ahead and do that. Don't you love it when I make mistakes? I'm only human too, right? So let's go ahead and copy and paste. And so now Okay, it took us about 3 years to pay off all of this, including the car loan. Not bad. So we'll say 37 months. 37 months to pay off 62K of debt. 37 months to pay off 62K of debt. Bam, bam. All right, so now this is what we're going to do, okay? 37 months, we got to figure out what the balance of the student loan is, right? So I just type in 37, 37. And if you have a lower interest rate student loan, you may not want to move the whole thing into a line of credit. But I'm going to tell you what's an easy way to pay it off quickly is using what we call the chunking method. Now, think about this, okay? If you had 9,200 or $9,020 and you had two loans, right? A $404 student loan and a $1,000 mortgage, do you think most people would know how to overpay it? Like, am I putting some of the student loan here or am I putting some of the mortgage here? Oh, am I using the snowball method or am I using the highest interest rate debt, right? And because people, what they do is it's called segregation of income, and they don't really know how to focus paying off one debt at a time. We're just going to use a line of credit to help us with that. So this is what they call chunking. And so what we're going to do is take the loan and then split into pieces essentially and just move some of it into line of credit and pay it over and over again. Okay. So for example, how much income do we make here? So we'll say we'll move $6,000, right? $6,000 into the line of credit. So let me just show you how that works, right? So we're moving parts of the $6,000 loan into the line of credit. And then look how quickly that 6,000 gets paid off in about 2-3 months, right? And then we rinse and repeat over and over again. Rinse and repeat. So let me go ahead and do this and open up the Velocity Banking Calculator. So this is a Velocity Banking Calculator provided by Renatus. Just full disclosure, I am a Renatus student and I resell their education and make commission off of it. So if you want to give me money, click the Google form link down below. And also, if you want to expand your education, which honestly, the money to me is more important. Not gonna lie, no, I'm just kidding. But if you're not only interested in about learning velocity banking, but also learning about real estate investing, financial literacy, blah 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 blah, click the Google form link below. And if you want access to this calculator, you got to get a Renatus education package. But people are like, where do I get this? And then like I say, it costs money, and they're like, wah, wah. So sorry. Uh, okay, all right, let's go ahead and do this. So now all I gotta do is just type in the details. So right here, and 40,000. So this is gonna be 40,000 is the original. What's the current balance? Okay, so what's the current balance? It is 29,321.86, 29,321.86. And then the interest rate is 4% at 10 year. No, yeah, student loan is 10 years. And then the payment amount is 404.98. 404.98. And then what is my income? It is, I believe, 5,200. Yeah, 5,200. And what is my expenses? It's everything except for the loan I'm trying to pay off. So I'm gonna go ahead and calculate this right here. 2873.64. This is so easy. 2873.64. Whoopsie. 2873.664. And then now it says it's going to take us about 1 year to pay it off. Okay, not bad. Student loan for 1 year. In fact, let me just do a Google search. How long? Ooh, to hold a coffee enema. Interesting. Not giving medical advice. It's just Google suggesting things. All right, how long do most people take to pay off student loans, right? Oh, look at this. Some professional graduates may take more than 45 years to pay their student loans. Okay. Whoa. 20 years. Oh my goodness. You see this? 20 years? Are you getting a heart attack? This is like the bad heart attack. The good heart attack is like you're looking at your spreadsheets and you realize you're making 30 grand of cash flow a month. The bad part heart attack is it takes you 20 years to pay off your student loan debts. All right. So this is 0. And what we do is just add 12 months to 37. So that's 49 months. Okay, 49 months. And what's 62 plus 35? 62 plus 35. And it's 97K. All right, so now we just kind of do this right here and somewhere, and we're going to go to 49 months, right? 49 months. And our current balance is 186,000, and we just do it again. So let me go ahead and do this and do 30 years, right? What's 30 years? 186,966.6, 186,966.6. And then I believe our monthly expenses is 8. Whoopsie, this is not the payment amount. I'm insane. So let's see. Hold on. 186,966.6. No, that's the current balance. So the interest rate is 5%. The payment amount is 1073.64. 1073.64. And then the original balance, let me take a look at this, is $200,000. 5.3 years. Okay. 5.3 years. All right. Well, 26 grand, the amount of interest that we don't have to pay here. That's pretty sweet. And yeah, 26 grand. So, all right. So let me go in here. And how many months? It's 5.3 years. So to calculate the total year of debt payoff, it's just you divide the number of months, divide by 12, and then add the years. And then so now 9.3 years, we are debt free. 9.3 years. Okay. And this is not just our mortgage, right? You ever hear like pay off your mortgage in 7 to 10 years? Well, in this case, we paid it off in 5, right? So again, 7 to 10, 5 is kind of late for me nowadays. And I'm going to tell you why, because I paid off my mortgage in 2 years and 9 months. And this is me swimming in cash flow. And this is me being the goat of the debt payoff, right? Greatest of all time, debt payoff. And AI images, for some reason, can never spell correctly. But once they can spell correctly, especially in images, that's probably when we've known that they're at the Skynet level of sentience, right? Okay. All right. Well, that's it for today. So this is Korean Atlanta mentorship. If you're interested in not only learning about velocity banking, but learning about financial literacy and real estate investing, click the Google form link below. Other than that, have a great day, everybody, and good morning.